Hey everyone, it's Stefan. We're in Schönhauser Allee 74 in Prenzlauer Berg, and we're going to meet the founders of VonChurch. So let's have a look. Hey Jeremy. Stefan. Good. And you? So VonChurch, right?
This is it. This is it. What you see is what you get.
And which would be?
Well, that's a good question. I've been coming up with ways to define my own company for 2 or 3 years now, but we work in the digital economy.
Okay.
The digital economy is everything from fashion tech to gaming to e-commerce. Okay. Anything with digital umbrella. And what we do is we basically provide young startups with engineers from all over the world because there's a big supply versus demand gap.
And why only startups? Because big guys need them as well.
Yeah, corporate companies have lots of layers, and lots of layers mean there's lots of bureaucracy, and it takes time, and we want things to move fast. So that's why we work with small startups. They're easy to work with. You have direct access to the founders, and you get to see how things run from the ground up, the roots.
Because you said earlier it's very personal, right? You're trying to be a bit different in the way you hire people and talk to people.
Yeah, I think a lot of companies sort of view recruitment as more of a sales industry, which means that people essentially get treated like statistics. But I think what we're trying to do is we're trying to fit square pegs in square holes, not square pegs in round holes, right?
Okay, yeah.
Like this, which means that which means that we focus a lot more on human behaviour. We focus on what people really want, bringing like-minded people together, understanding people's motivations.
Does that take much more time? Or?
Yeah, it does, but it also yields far better results rather than throwing enough muck at the wall. You get very accurate results.
So I assume you have much less churn, or when you place people, they stay much longer.
Yeah, I mean, you look. I think the average person we place probably stays between 2 and 3 years, something like that, in a company, which is above the average, if you like. Yeah. Wow. And even though the process takes more time, 1 out of every 3 people that we end up speaking to for a specific position ends up getting an offer. Wow. So that's really accurate, and that saves people time, which saves people money.
That actually leads us to the next question. How come Berlin? Any reason? Did you choose Berlin specifically, or?
Yeah, it is. We thought about London. Berlin is a lot cheaper to set up a company here, but also we realised that we're on the crest of a wave here, right? Okay. So I've been working in this industry for nearly a decade now. I realised that things were very, very young when I started. There wasn't much here at all, but we realised an opportunity, and now we feel like we're on the crest of a wave. Hundreds of startups every year getting more and more funding, and it's no longer a hype bubble. It's actually a real thing.
Which is some good advice for other soon-to-be founders or people that get inspired and say, "Hey, I want to start my own business."
Okay, well, don't be afraid to fail.
Okay.
I think that goes without saying. Yeah. There's too much of a mentality in Europe is I must succeed in my first venture. Newsflash: 87% fail, whatever the number is. So.
It's quite high.
Yeah, always be prepared for that, and always make sure that you know what you're going to do next if things don't work out just as you plan.
That's actually a good idea.
And don't rest on your laurels or pretend that that this is it. You have to explore every avenue.
There's always life after failure.
Yeah, and as my second advice is always adapt. Always change. The market changes. Your ideas are going to pivot. The way you work is going to change. Always change and adapt to your market, which changes around you all the time.
How come you chose this industry, the recruiting industry?
It's all I know. It's what I know. Okay. The last 10 years, I studied psychology, really? So I'm very, very interested, not just professionally, but also personally, in human behaviour. And the thing about when I finished my studies, people would say, "Oh, what are you going to do? You're going to become a child psychologist? Are you going to become, I don't know, a shrink or something?" Yeah. And no, I didn't want to do any of this. I ended up actually in a job in recruiting because it was a result of a financial crisis in 2008, and I was going to take anything that I was given. But what I found is that day to day, because we're dealing with people and their emotions and their futures, essentially, which is a big deal, right? And their families as well, that you're more involved with the psychology side of things than you could ever imagine. And you get you start to really identify trends in people's behaviour, and it's super interesting. So,
cool.
I guess that's a roundabout answer.
And a chance to talk to one of the big German politicians like Merkel, etc. What would you ask them? Or
you just opened up a huge can of worms there. Look, I mean, Germany is obviously a socialist country. The US is a country which is very capitalist. You can fail fast.
A bit more,
It's a bit more. The UK is kind of a balance between the two, which has aspects of both. Which is why a lot of entrepreneurs from the US go there, as well as the language and the familiarity, if I can say it correctly. But I would say that let's cut out the red tape. Let's cut out the bureaucracy. Let's make it easy for startups who are providing jobs for people and making the industry grow to really operate without all the red tape, without all the paperwork, without all the things that bog us down and take up 25% of my time as a CEO,
Really?
which I would like to spend doing creative things, creating more jobs for people and making money.
I think this is already it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir.
Good luck, guys. And if you guys need a job, you're the ones to look for, right? Or you're the ones to get in touch with.
And if I need a cameraman, I'll come to you.